Hey everyone, welcome to the Libra Lounge. Real quick, before we get things started, I want to remind you that this Saturday from 9 to 4, Bayou Animal Shelter will have their feline frenzy. Mike, I know you want to go to that. Mike is just a little bit allergic to cats, and we had a cat right here on the desk not 10 minutes ago. This is a great event for families. Not only can you find a cat and give him its forever home, there will be lots of chances to win some fabulous prizes. For additional information, go to Bayou Animal Services Facebook page, or you can call and ask to speak to Sarah. This organization is great. They do all the rescue for Dickinson, Santa Fe, Clear Lake, and they did some fantastic work during Hurricane Harvey. I mean, I think they were at full capacity for months afterwards. And then, like, there was people who got displaced. They had nowhere to put their animals. So they would keep the animals until the people got homes again. So really, really, really good organization. Also, this Sunday, we will have a brand new episode of the Libra Life. You don't want to miss this one at all. You may hear me saying a little bit. Right now, if you're interested in being a sponsor or advertising with the Libra Lounge, please check out our website at www.libralounge.net. So, who do we have here with us today? God damn, Mike. You're not going to introduce yourself?
My name is Michael Navarro.
What year did you graduate from Dickinson?
I graduated in 98.
Okay, you're a year behind me and James.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you're what, 37?
Yes, 37.
Isn't that
Going
weird?
on 38, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Once you hit like 36, you have to really think about how old you are, because people are like, I'm like, 38? 22? 45? I can't remember. All right, so Mike, what do you do for a living?
I work for a NASA contractor. Mm-hmm. That's my main job. On the side, I own a small business called Manticore Media, LLC.
Okay.
I've been a graphic designer for about 20 years, so I do a few side jobs when I have the time.
Huh. We need someone to do our new logo. If you're interested.
Yeah, maybe so. I just finished one earlier this week.
Oh, really?
For an insurance agency.
Nice. So you're, kind of like us. We've got our James has a regular job. I just kind of float around and see if I can pimp my services out and make a little cash. Okay, so what's the name of your business again?
Manticore Media, LLC.
Okay, great. So, Mike, we have you here today because you often post on, things that I have on the Libra Lounge Facebook page, and it's usually when we're talking about things having to do with pop culture.
Yes.
And you totally have a fangirl right here because you busted out with, and we'll talk about that later, but a Swans Crossing poster.
Yes.
I think I screamed, and everyone's like, what is going on? I'm like, Swans Crossings. They're like, what? Like, people don't understand. But anyway, so this is our pop culture show. How do you define pop culture?
Ooh, it's kind of a living, breathing, evolving organism. It's whatever's in our mindset at the moment.
Right.
I did a search on the internet. And
Me too.
You did?
Yes.
The one about the attitudes, ideas, images, and perspectives within the mainstream?
I got another one. I got set of practices, beliefs, and objects that are dominant in society at a given point in time.
Yep.
Pretty much the same thing.
Same thing.
Thank God we didn't Google and get the same answer, because we would have looked like, really? Did y'all study together and y'all still put the same answer? No one changed it up a little bit? I'm a little bit obsessed with pop culture.
Yeah.
When I think about pop culture, for me, I think about boy bands, Britney Spears, David Bowie, and of course, Clueless. It's like the epitome of pop culture to me, because as a teenager, it taught me so much, even though it was kind of like a newer version of, what was the movie, Fast Time at Ridgemont High?
Yes.
But it was so relatable. Like, we had people in high school talking about being a virgin, smoking weed, and fashion, and all these really, really cool things. And now my daughter can watch that movie and she totally digs it. And she's like, I want to dress like that, So that is like my pop culture. If someone says anything, boom, I think about Cher from Clueless, Sharon Dion.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
I think a lot about music.
Music, okay.
Especially music from the 90s, rock music, what they, I guess, labeled modern rock or alternative.
Right.
I think of
grunge music.
The grunge music, the flannel T-shirt,
yeah,
the headbanging, the long hair.
We weren't cute when we tried to do those.
No.
We didn't look as cool as the artists on MTV did when they were doing their videos. We were just kind of look kind of chunky and unkempt.
Yeah. And I think my flannel shirt was from Bud's, if you remember that store.
What store's Bud's?
The old Walmart in Dickinson.
Yeah.
And I guess the rumor was that Bud was Sam's brother. And he started his own little store, and I guess all of the rejected merchandise from Walmart went to Bud's. Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember Bud's. Producer James, do you remember Bud? Of course, he remembers everything about Dickinson. Okay, so you think about the grunge era, which is, it's funny now because people ask me what kind of music I listen to, and I listen to everything, but mostly while I'm in the car, I listen to Alt Nation.
Yes.
Which is like a newer version of alternative music, minus the grunge. None of that. Some people say that pop culture kind of started back with William Shakespeare. He would be a good example because he created these plays for the masses, but they're completely and totally timeless.
Yes.
People are still making movies or doing television shows that are based off of his plays. So I really think when you think pop culture, no one really thinks William Shakespeare, but yeah. So I know you said, some of the music is what you think about when you hear pop culture, but I could totally Google search this. Some of the biggest names in pop culture would be Elizabeth Taylor, Kurt Cobain, which his daughter was just in the news.
Yes.
Judy Garland, Biggie and Tupac. That's just going to go on forever and ever. And it's almost to the point that, people still respect their music, but it's still so much about the beef that was going on between the two of them and who killed who. I think someone just the other day on TMZ, another rapper who's not well known was like, I warned Biggie 2 months before he was killed to kind of lay low. And I'm like, are you going to tell us who he was supposed to lay low from? So maybe we could find out who killed him. Of course, Madonna. And Marilyn Monroe. And Michael Jackson. I just don't think there will ever be a time where people are not compared to Michael Jackson.
Right.
I think he'll forever be the king of pop.
Don't forget Elvis and the Beatles.
Yes.
Because
very true.
The Beatles, there's people that claim they're the reason that a lot of the Indian culture and yoga and all of that Eastern philosophy came over here was because of their trip to India.
Okay. Most definitely. Everyone knows. We're talking about people that even if you don't know exactly what they did, what they acted in, you can't name one of their songs, you know their name, and even like kids today, they know about the Beatles because again, people are creating songs that are either cut from some of their songs or like the Yellow Submarine. Now you've got every artist has made a song about a certain color submarine. Yeah. And that all just comes, from the Beatles. And of course, Elvis Presley, because he just tore down so many barriers, as far as music, dancing on television, and racing music. Yeah, I know. I totally skipped over the Gab. We'll get back to it. So, I'm hoping one day that, along with Marilyn, Elvis, Michael, people will say, we're Keisha. I'm just kind of like, what do me and you got to do?
I don't know. Maybe we have to start a reality show or commit a crime.
I'm probably more leaning towards a commit a crime. That's real easy. I can just, I can steal your wallet right now and be like, hey, put me down in history.
Yeah.
Dude came and did my show and I stole all of his money and his credit cards. So anyway, let's just go. We're going to go back to the Gab. I'm so sorry. Everyone, if you are a friend of the Libra Lounge, you know what time it is. I didn't know what time it was, but it is time for the Gab.
We know. she has a really big mouth, which sounds kind of dirty, and that's probably true too. Let's gossip. The Gab with Keisha.
Alrighty, so the last couple of weeks, Chris Brown. You know, I put him in the same category as O.J. Simpson and George Zimmerman, men who have gotten away with crimes and they just refuse to sit their asses down somewhere and chill the fuck out. They just keep doing things. Like, get all your money, go put it in an account overseas, move far away, and just chill and be rich and have sex and smoke weed. I mean, but no, these dudes... They're not about that. So allegedly, Chris Brown had a party at his house, and a lady is claiming that one of the men from Chris's crew raped her several times, and a female from his crew forced this lady to perform oral sex on her while she was on her period. That just kind of makes me want to throw up a little bit. So, you know, a lot of people are saying, here we go again. Another woman is, you know, accusing a celebrity of doing a crime, it's sexual assault, something like that. But in this case, the lady left the party and immediately went to a rape center, and she went to the police. So she's already hired a Gloria, what is her name? Gloria. Yeah, and now, you know, she don't play. No. So, you know, I get it. People, you know, following the aftermath of like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein and, you know, women accusing them of crimes that they committed years and years and years ago, allegedly. Here we go again. But I kind of think there may be something to this. What do you think?
First, it's a tragic situation, no matter how you look at it.
Right.
You know, that's the problem with having an entourage.
Yeah.
You know, even if Chris had nothing to do with it, he's still guilty by association. Yeah. If it's happened this time, I'm sure it's happened before.
Right. Yeah.
You know who's in your crew. You know how they are.
Yep.
That's just the danger of people with his reputation getting a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, because the guy who she is alleging raped her, she's not suing him. She's suing Chris for $12 million.
Wow.
Because it was at his home, and Chris was also there. You know, she said, you know, Chris was there, and he was, you know, supposedly having sex with other women, but she's not claiming that he raped her. So it's just kind of like... even if you don't do something, if it's at your house, it's just like if you fall down the stairs right now at my house, you know, I'm like, dude, you were at my house. I didn't push you. And you're like, yeah, but I still fell down, so I'm going to sue you. I'm like, you can sue me. You ain't going to get nothing. But yeah, you have every right to sue me. So it's kind of one of those situations that I'm willing to bet Chris is going to settle out of court.
Yeah. Well, did he try to cover it up? Did he try to escort her out?
He hasn't said anything.
Okay.
Which is probably pretty smart. His lawyer is probably like, lay low, chill, don't say anything, because again, this woman did follow all the steps that you are supposed to take, which is to call the police and report it. So I think there's something to this one. I talked about it a little bit on my Libra Lounge Facebook page, and there's a lot of women that are like, I don't think it's true, you know. I don't know about this one. It sounds like there may be something to it.
Yeah, we've been burned too many times. You know,
that's true.
The Bill Cosby thing, that burned me. You know, when it was 2, 3, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
You know, and then when it jumps like 30, you're like,
yeah.
30? Really?
Yeah.
How could nobody? But then, you know,
it's women who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. And if you, back then, I mean, you say someone like Bill Cosby raped you, your career's over before it even starts, you know? And it's the same with people like Chris Brown. You get all these women that probably have never even met Chris show up at his house because, hey, maybe we can get a picture with Chris, sell it to TMZ, you know what I mean? Yeah. And make money from it. It's just, it's an unfortunate situation. And I hate the fact that there are women who are willing to lie for the publicity, for the money, because it makes people that, you know, because celebrities do a lot of things they're not supposed to do. When something really does happen, the poor chick, everyone's looking at her like, you know, she's a liar, she's a gold digger, just, you know, looking for her opportunity to have a moment in the spotlight. But this is some really serious allegations right here. So, you know me, I'm nosy, so I'll be updating everyone as I find things out. So, do you like the Kardashians?
No, I don't.
Why?
I am not a fan of trashy reality. I think what you just mentioned, where people try to be hangers-on of celebrities, is why we have this trashy reality. No doubt they're entertaining, and it's fun watching a train wreck.
Yeah.
But, what kind of impact does it have on us and our culture and our kids?
And our kids.
You know? Like you have the Teen Mom and the Teen Mom OG. That's not good stuff to put
I'm laughing because I watch them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched him, and then I have a group of friends that immediately afterwards we talk about it.
Yeah.
And we never say anything good. It's like it's so bad, but I'm like, we've invested so much time in these heifers. Like, I mean, we've been watching them since 16 and pregnant, and it's just like, we watched their stories, and now we're watching them on Teen Mom, and it's just like, they're still doing the same stupid shit.
They are.
And getting paid for it.
Yes, that's the problem.
Quite well.
So we're telling our kids, hey, go and act a fool and you're going to get paid.
It's true. I mean, people say that about me. Look at Keisha that's on the camera acting a fool and not getting paid for it. So Khloe Kardashian, who of course has been in the news nonstop, first when she started dating Tristan Thompson, then she got pregnant, and then of course Tristan was caught cheating on her, and then finally she gave birth to her baby girl, and this week she finally released a photo of True, and True's pretty cute, even though she's got a freaking Snapchat filter on her face. It's just like, I'm 38, I'm pushing 40. I need a Snapchat filter. I don't think like a newborn baby needs that, but all the Kardashians do it to their babies. I'm just like, they're already breeding. You know what I mean? These little girls to, have filters on their faces. Next, by the time True's 1, she'll probably, know how to contour her face and, be wearing the Kardashian lip gloss line and all that. But did you see the pictures of her?
I think I did, yeah. Little cute, chunky baby, right?
She is cute. Okay, so I saw the funniest thing. I think it was on Twitter. Someone reposted the picture of baby True and said, see, this proves that OJ must really be Khloe's dad because that baby looks black. And so Khloe Kardashian actually responded. She goes, it may have something to do with the fact that her dad is black. I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. But you know what? The Kardashians, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon because, I mean, I can't say I'm a fan of them, but I love hearing about the next stupid ass thing that they do. Yeah. It's really funny. Speaking of stupid ass things that they do, this morning I discovered that Kim Kardashian, after being sued several years ago for promoting diet pills, has decided she's going to promote a lollipop that will help you lose weight.
Wow.
Wait, and she says that it's like totally unreal. Bitch, I bet it is unreal because this shit don't work. And it's just like, Kim, you're rich. Why do you have to try to promote this lollipop that ain't not one person going? Now, if all you eat all day is one of those lollipops, yeah, you're gonna lose some weight.
Does it come with her plastic surgeon?
That's what I said, Mike. I'm like, you know what? The chef, the plastic surgeon, I don't know, but I remember my daughter's getting ready to turn 16, and I think she might have been 10. And she's like, oh my gosh, Mama, I want to be famous. I'm like, okay, great. What are you going to do? Are you going to be a designer or a doctor? She goes, I want to be famous for like nothing like the Kardashians. I'm like, oh, shit.
Does she have an Instagram yet?
Who, Skylar?
Yes.
She has an Instagram.
She's got to work on building her brand. That's what they did.
I hope she, skips a couple of steps like the sex tape part of it.
For sure, yes. Yes.
Because everyone forgets that is how the Kardashians got on the map. Because before then, Kim was Paris Hilton's
That's right.
assistant.
Yeah.
So she was always just right there in the background and, dating Ray J, and one sex tape later, and it's like an explosion of damn gremlins. We've got the Kardashians, You have all these great people. Michael Jackson died. Prince died. Who else has died? Lois Lane, Margot Kidder died this week. And we still have every single one of the Kardashians. I just don't. We need some balance here. I'm saying.
Well, we lost Bruce, and he's now Caitlyn. Either way, she's gone. But she's gone. I haven't seen her in a while.
If you kind of look at the record of the men who date Kardashian women, doesn't look too good.
Well, they better work on Tristan Thompson in the next couple days.
I have a feeling that before long, somebody from the Kardashian team is going to beat the hell out of Tristan. He's not done cheating.
Oh, that's true.
I think this dude is just straight up not ready to settle down. And he's young. I don't blame him. You know, he's young. He's good looking. He's rich. He's a basketball player. Yeah, he wants to fuck a lot of women. Okay. You know? So.
Well, he picked the right family, didn't he?
No kidding. No kidding. Kanye seems to be, speaking of the Kardashian men, he seems to be acting a little bit better. He's not throwing as many bitch fits. I think he's somewhere, what mountain place is he at? I can't remember, but he's somewhere with some fresh air and mountains, and he's smiling again and, acting like Yeezy instead of, I don't know.
Well, he was out promoting his new album, right? That's what that was all about.
Well, and he's finishing up those albums.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, he actually tweeted that, if I haven't answered any of your calls or your text messages, because I threw that phone away so I could focus on these albums. I'm like, but clearly you still have a damn computer because you're still tweeting. Stay off of the Twitter, as I call it.
Maybe we make our mark in pop culture by making a song like he did. I think we can throw down some lyrics like that. I'm sure
we can work on the after show.
We can cough and wheeze into the microphone
and sniff.
Yeah.
We got all the background beats covered up between the two of us. Okay, so are you a fan of comic books or comic book movies?
I am. I really do enjoy them.
Are you looking forward to Deadpool tomorrow?
Oh, that's tomorrow. Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, yes.
Yeah. I've never even seen the first one.
You've never seen the first one?
No, but like my husband, his top 3 favorite characters are Deadpool, the Punisher, and Logan,
Wolverine, yes.
So I decided to be like a nice wife because I'm such a mean wife and a whiny and a bitchy wife. I was like, you know what? I'll get a Deadpool shirt and, make sure his eyes are by my titties and turn James on a little bit, So, yeah, the premiere is tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Try to check out the first one if you can. There's a lot of pop culture references you'd appreciate.
Now, I do know, one of the things I do know is Wham! George Michael's Careless Whisper.
Yes.
That's a classic right there.
Yeah, the good thing about Deadpool, and I don't know much about him from the comics, that was a little after my time, but he breaks the fourth wall a lot and he jokes with you. He makes fun of other superheroes. He makes fun of superhero movies. Okay. That's the great thing. It's such a meta movie and a meta character that really, like, anyone outside of the focus audience will really enjoy it.
They will?
Yes.
Well, I better enjoy it tomorrow night because I got to go at 9:00 to watch it. So I'm going to be like in the movies. I'm going to be up in there be like, Wakanda forever, though. Like, I don't understand. Where the drums and the beats and the black people at, But I'm going to go. Lord knows that man has sat through enough Harry Potter movies that I think I can, take one for the team.
Yeah. I'd be willing to bet there's a Wakanda reference in there.
Oh my gosh.
I'd be willing to bet.
You know what? I'm going to do a tally of how many times they mentioned Wakanda in there. All right. So when we get back, we're going to talk some more about pop culture with Mr. Michael Navarro. We will be right back. Welcome back to the Libra Lounge. I'm here with one of Dickinson's OGs like me, Mike Navarro. And we are talking all about pop culture. I think that's a term that people hear all the time, but they're not, necessarily sure of what it means. So we've kind of been defining it and giving some prime examples of it. Before the break, Mike and I had to have a discussion about our extreme allergies because I get made fun of after every show, especially by my family. They're like, can you stop sniffing in the mic? But Mike and I, we try to, snot it out during the commercial breaks, cough it out, sniff it out, nose spray it out, whatever we got to do. So, all right. So when you think about major movies that are going down or are part of pop culture, what comes to mind?
I think the first one is Star Wars.
Yes. And aren't they doing like a reboot or a prequel that's coming up pretty soon?
Yes, they're doing a Han Solo prequel, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
I think that's in 2 weeks.
Okay. I think about The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yes.
Yeah, everyone has seen The Wizard of Oz. My kid can do all of the Wizard of Oz trivia. I'm just kind of like, Okay, Dorothy Jr. over there. Coming to America.
Oh, I just saw that last weekend.
So glow. Of course, you got The Godfather, Jaws, you know, all of these movies that, like, right now, if someone turned it on, you may not have seen it, but you know everything about it.
You do. And you know, speaking of Coming to America, do you remember Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yes, the first of the freaking month.
I forgot which song it was, but it either ends or starts out with, "Your rent's due, mother."
I think that's the first of the month.
Was it? No. Might be Mr. Bill Collector.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
That's a drop from Coming to America.
Oh, yeah, it is.
When they're going to rent their apartment, the landlord walks them up. He's like, "Hey, your rent's due, mother."
You can totally cuss. You're not cuss, Mike?
I try to keep it family friendly. I've got a young child, so he's been picking up my words, so I've got to keep it clean.
Really?
Yeah.
As bad as my mouth is, Skylar never cussed.
Really?
I think she knows my mama crazy, so I'm just not gonna give a chance at it all. Well, hopefully, what's your son's name?
Joey.
Okay, so what we'll do is, just in case Joey wants to watch the show, we will do a video with all the bleeps.
Okay.
Now, the majority of every time I talk, it's gonna be bleep all the way through, so that he can see his dad. Okay, so speaking of movies. Now we have all these amazing shows that we all watch, and when they're on, we get on Facebook and Twitter. We all have conversations about it. And I know you and I kind of, reconnected with The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
So, for people that don't know, The Walking Dead started out as a graphic comic book.
Right.
It still is a graphic comic book. And then AMC decided to make a show out of it, which was a great idea. Amazing writing, amazing characters, great action, but I think we're getting ready to go into season
9 or 10,
7 or 9, 8. Thank you, producer James. He held up 8 fingers. So we're getting ready to go into season 8, and some of the love is just gone.
Not some of it, I'd say all of it.
All of it?
I think all of it, yeah.
For people who have been living underneath a rock and you don't know about The Walking Dead, and James, you can chime in whenever you want, because I'm sure I'll explain it wrong. You'll be like, "Oh my God, Keisha, haven't taught you nothing? You embarrass me." Walking Dead is basically about an epidemic. Is that right? Just shake your head and let me know I'm doing good. An epidemic that has come out, and once you die, you immediately turn into a zombie or a walker, as they call them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They never use the word zombie.
Never. So you have all of these people who are having to basically come together and build different communities and really just survive, because the walkers are they're these relentless creatures that eat people that are alive. And once you're bitten by a walker, you therefore become a walker. So it's really all about survival. So let's go back to season 1, so we could kind of like give a little bit of a backstory and talk about some of the characters, because I think that's the only reason that I am still watching.
Right.
Is because of you just get so invested in these great characters, but the writing just has been shitty the last 3 seasons?
No, I think for me it turned right after they revealed Negan's victim. I think they had us, because I literally felt like puking during that episode.
Right.
And that happened, and then it just went downhill. And that was the beginning of this previous season, wasn't it?
Yes. Right. James is like my expert as far as Walking Dead goes. Well, he thinks he's an expert. We're going to let him feel a little bit special today. Well, you go back to season 1, and Rick Grimes is the lead character, but we're not even are we introduced to Rick immediately?
Yes, he wakes up from a coma in the hospital.
Okay.
And no one is there.
Right. Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
So I forget how long Rick had been in the coma, because his wife and his son Coral have already packed up and left, and kind of have gotten together with another community with
Shane,
who worked with Rick and was Rick's best friend.
Right.
Yeah. What were they? Sheriff officers?
They were sheriffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I think about the first season of Walking Dead, I immediately think about Glenn in the red sports car.
Yes, because he was their runner.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Season 1, I think season 1, that's what I see that. I don't know why. So let's just, go over the main characters. You got Rick Grimes. You had his wife Lori, who everybody hated and no one misses her.
No.
When she died, we all cheered and sang and danced. You have got Daryl Dixon, who everyone loves. If Daryl is ever killed off the show, we're gonna riot.
Will we still riot though? Will we still riot if Daryl dies? I think that's where we're at now.
You know what?
I don't know.
You have a point, because Daryl got on my nerves just a little bit this season.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Glenn, who unfortunately died last season.
Andrea.
Yeah, did we miss did we?
She was there in the beginning. Andrea and her sister.
Yes, who got killed during season 1.
Right.
Carol
and her abusive husband and their daughter Sophia.
And Carol's one of the reasons that I still watch.
Yes.
Because Carol, I'm all about female empowerment, and she starts off as this woman who, was in a very abusive relationship, who didn't stand up for herself, who didn't know how to fight. Her husband beat her ass, and she just was kind of a homely mom.
Right.
And now you come to season 7, which just ended, and we look to Carol to come in and save the day. Carol blows shit up. She goes on rescue missions. She be slapping hoes. And poor Carol, she always has some damn kid that latches on to her as much as she's just like, leave me alone. And they just love her, and then they die.
They die, yeah.
And, it's just like, oh, little kid, please don't like Carol. Let's stay away from Carol. Carol just, it's Carol and kids. That's just not the business right there.
And that's part of her arc. She goes from wanting to keep the kids away from it to wanting to train them to not wanting to train them, to wanting to train them again.
Right. I think it's so hard because even though she doesn't talk about her daughter, Sophia, who died during season 1, she was bitten. I think that she will forever feel guilty.
Yes.
That she couldn't take care of her own daughter. She doesn't want to take on the responsibility of oh, wait a minute. I forgot about those 2 crazy sisters.
Look at the flowers.
Look at the flowers. That's when Walking Dead was good. You know what I mean? Yeah, those 2. Another prime example of why Carol's just like, I'm done with children. Children, leave me alone. And who else was? Because we had Carl, who is Rick's son.
There was the older guy who Carl.
Dale.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the heart of that group.
Yes.
And then Dale died.
Which was kind of Carl's fault, and that's where
a lot of shit was Carl's fault. Yeah.
And that's how Carl kind of became a stronger character.
Yeah.
Because if he just either killed the zombie or told somebody about it, Dale would still be around.
Yeah. We got to when you go back and you look at pictures from the first season, you see Carl, and then you see him now. It's just like we have watched this kid grow up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, Carl used to annoy the hell out of me because he was always trying to do something but always managed to fuck it up like every single time. It's just like, Carl, put down the hat, stop,
put down the pudding.
Yes, it's just like but I will never forget when Lori went into labor and Carl had to, basically she died during labor because they had to cut the baby out of her. They had to perform a C-section.
Yeah.
And Lori died, which meant that she would become a walker, and Carl had to be the one to put her down, as they say. Yeah. And for you guys that don't know, in order to kill a zombie, you have to damage their mush brain. Is that right?
Right.
So yeah, I got a lot of respect for Carl then. And if you're also a fan of the show, everyone makes fun of how Rick says Carl. Carl, Carl, where's Carl? So right now, we could talk about this for days and days and days, but we, the last few seasons, we lost a lot of the original characters. I think we're down to Rick, Carol,
Daryl.
That's it from season 1.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah, well, because you have, season 2 was, what's Glenn's wife? Is that
That's when we
Laura?
got Maggie.
Maggie.
Which I don't know if I'm going to even watch the show until Maggie starts showing. This bitch is 12 months pregnant and she is just a flat tummy. And I'm like, Maggie lying. Maggie is not pregnant. But James told me that in the graphic novel, she is pregnant, right? She does have a baby.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so, but she's not showing. I'm just like...
Well, that might be part of the problem with the show is they're moving so slow. You know,
I agree.
One episode to us is like
You're right. Yeah.
an hour to them.
Yeah, it has moved very slowly. You know, the shows, you know, the writing, it was really good, and then you had a lot of action to go along with it with every single episode. You know, there was a point in time I told James, I'm going to stop watching. My blood pressure goes up.
Yeah.
My emotions are everywhere. You know, I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat during Walking Dead, and now it's just like I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I don't care.
Looking at stuff, you know.
Oh, Carl died. I didn't care. I didn't care when Carl died.
You know, I didn't. Okay, for one, I didn't think Carl was really going to die.
No.
I really thought that it was going to be he got bit, but then he didn't turn into a walker. So which goes with the whole theory that Rick is immune to the walker disease. Mm-hmm. So perhaps his children were too. But then I was like, damn, Carl really did die.
I thought, you know, it was all a dream. You know, I thought that was it. I thought it was something like that. Because my theory was when this show ended, it was Carl telling the story about how his dad led them back to civilization.
Well, that ain't going to do it. It's not going to end like that. That's for damn sure, because Carl most definitely died. And I'll admit, we knew, you know, there was a possibility that he was going to die because we'd heard rumors that the actor who plays Carl was going to go to college.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, why you want to go to college when you could be rich? You know? But I did get a little bit choked up, especially when Daryl took Judith, who is Rick's little girl.
Yeah.
And said, you know, I'll take care of her. Because Daryl started off as like almost like a feral cat. You know what I mean? Just no emotional attachments. Just he wasn't used to being around people. And he has grown into this person that, you know, they trust and that they would leave a child with. And I think he really wanted to take Judith so he can walk away because he didn't want to be there when Carl died.
See, I think if they'd have had Daryl broke down, maybe they would have had me.
You think so?
Yeah, because like I had to rewind it and it's like, did Daryl even say goodbye? He just kind of turned and walked away.
Yeah.
But
which is Daryl showing a lot of emotions for Daryl, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they showed Michonne breakdown.
Yeah.
Which
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. But you kind of expected that because you had already seen the bond between Michonne and Carl being his surrogate mother.
Yeah.
And I think he even told her, "You're my best friend."
Yes, he did. Yeah. And she said, "You're my best friend too." It was I wasn't sure. I'll say this. Whenever Rick got down into where they're in like a sewer or something like that, somewhere nasty, and everyone's just kind of sitting on both sides as Rick walks through, and they all know what has happened, and Rick doesn't have a clue.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, man. Because I felt like I was sitting there like, what is Rick going to do? Because Rick kind of got issues with his emotions, you know what I mean? And just, you know, for what it's worth, the acting on the show is still superb.
It is.
It really is. They haven't been given a lot to work with the last couple of seasons, but that moment when they let Carl die, I mean, shit, even Negan was really upset about Carl.
Because I think the comic book people, if I remember correctly, Negan turned into a good guy, didn't he? And he kind of buddied up with Carl.
Well, he did in the show too. The thing about it was, he respected Carl's kind of take no shit attitude,
right?
And because they took and tried to be too dramatic with something that didn't need to be that dramatic. I mean, after Sophia, Beth, Gwen, Abraham, after all these really grabbing deaths, Carl's, by that time we just didn't have any more invested in,
right.
You know, kind of a grand send off.
Yeah.
You know,
it wasn't a big breakdown moment, but I'll say this: Carl went out like a real G.
He did.
You know what I mean? He really did. You know, he punked Negan a little bit. You know, like, kill me, bitch. I'm ready to go. You know, he already knew that he was dying.
Yeah.
And one thing about Negan that, we forget that Negan was a gym teacher.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Negan was a gym teacher. So he worked with kids, and I think Carl maybe reminds him of who he was before the epidemic took over. You know what I mean? Because he really, if you think, Carl bucked up to Negan a lot.
He did.
And he could have killed him like so many times, but there was just something about him. I think the good that's in Negan, he felt that when he was around Carl. I don't know, I'm just pulling shit out my ass right now.
Well, he probably saw a lot of himself in Carl.
Right, yeah.
Or maybe who he wanted to be.
Who he wanted to be, or who he was, or maybe even a little bit of what the future could be, because he wanted to take Carl underneath his wing. You know, here's the thing with Negan and Rick. They both want the same things, but they both want to be the leader, of it. But ultimately, they really want to have a community. Well, I mean, Negan's kind of a little bit of a thug with his.
Yeah. I think Negan wants to lead and Rick has to lead, and I think that's the biggest difference between their characters.
Yeah, because Negan never looks as exhausted as Rick does. I mean, is there a scene where Rick's hair is not all sweaty and his face is all red and his eyes are a little bit bloodshot, like he hasn't slept in 12 years a slave or something like that? And, Negan's walking around with his damn leather jacket on and got Lucille with him, and, like, life is good.
Yeah, it's like 100 degrees and I'm wearing my Fonz jacket out here.
Exactly.
Beating heads in with my bat.
Yeah. So I have to, we talked about Carl's death, but you know what death really, really, really got me down? Was when they killed off Shiva.
Oh,
Shiva the tiger.
It's like, what was the point? She wasn't there long enough.
When it comes down to it, you show up with, what kind of tiger is Shiva, James? What is she?
Is she a Bengal?
Bengal.
Yeah.
But she's huge. She's beautiful. And again, we don't really see any animals outside of like a horse, every now and then. And that one time, that damn dog that fucked up shit, and Daryl and Daryl and what was Maggie's sister's name?
It was Beth, wasn't it?
It was a Beth?
Beth.
Yeah, all of that, and you see this animal that has managed to survive right alongside with humans during this whole epidemic. It's just, I don't know, it was just something about that. You know what I mean? She even made what's Dreadlock dude's name?
Oh, the King. Yeah,
the King. She even made him less annoying, because I get so sick of that Shakespearean accent. I'm like, look, bruh, you got dreads in your hair and you look like you from like Harlem or something like that. But if that's the way you want to talk, go ahead. You do what you got to do.
Well, remember, it was all a ruse to kind of keep the facade going and keep everybody in his community calm.
Right. And which I get it. I mean, at that point, you can recreate yourself. Yeah. And, I think he taking on and making it like the kingdom gave the people like hope. At that point, I think anyone's willing to grab onto anything that shows a little bit of stability. But I really still feel some type of way about them killing off Shiva. She came in, she rescued all of them, and then they let her get eaten by the walkers.
Well, first of all, there was too few walkers to take her down.
I agree.
A big freaking Bengal tiger.
Agree.
There was maybe 3 or 4?
Yes.
3 or 4 walkers, and they took her down.
I'm like, man, don't do Shiva like that. Yeah, that. Now, you know who we forgot from season 1? Morgan.
That's right.
Isn't Morgan the first voice that we hear on season 1?
Other than Rick's, yeah. Yeah,
Morgan.
on the walkie-talkies. Morgan and his son.
Yes. Now, Morgan has gone through it. But we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and finish up talking about The Walking Dead. Then we're going to talk a little bit of Game of Thrones. I swear, we could have had like a 3-hour-long show going on with this. But we'll be right back with my guest, Mike Navarro. Welcome back to the Libra Lounge. This is our pop culture show, and we have a local pop culture expert, Mike Navarro, in the studio with us today. And we've been going over, some of the big movies and celebrities and a little bit of music in regards to pop culture. And we've been talking about The Walking Dead. which has its own spot in pop culture history. And we were kind of recapping the show, and now it has come to the time that we need to list some of the reasons that The Walking Dead just needs to really end, because it's going downhill. The last 3 seasons it's just not the same anymore. So I know you've got a lot of reasons. So
I do.
Give them up.
Okay, I already said earlier, no one cares if Daryl dies anymore because they betrayed our trust. They keep promising us all these different things are going to happen, and they never produce. They give us hour-and-a-half long episodes about Morgan walking and meeting a guy with a bunch of goats, right? You can tell me that in 15 minutes. I don't need an hour and a half for that.
That is very true.
And the other day they had, my DVR recorded it as a 2-hour episode, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not watching this tonight. I'm not watching a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was, I guess they were promoting maybe
Fear of the Walking Dead?
No, it might have been Into the Badlands was coming back or something.
Yes.
So they tied it together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
I would have watched it that night. I would have watched Talking Dead right afterwards. But you threw this 2-hour block on my DVR.
Yeah. Trickery.
Yes. Yes. And weren't they throwing in some kind of a promo with the new Sandra Oh show?
Oh my gosh, did they?
I think that was Walking Dead. Yeah.
Oh boy, that's never a good sign when they're trying to tie in a popular show with new shows, kind of like maybe we'll get people who are interested in Enter the Badlands. Really, producer? Oh, your mic wasn't on? I bet my mic picked it up. Back there choking and shit. Keep that choking quiet.
Let me get mine out then.
Right? Me too. So, okay. So what's another reason Walking Dead needs?
You're a goddamn professional. Would you just continue?
Okay. The whole Negan story has been drawn out too long. We did get a resolution at the end. I don't know if you want to.
Do you? I didn't watch it, but I know. But is that really a resolution?
Are we going to spoil it?
Yes.
Okay. You should have watched it by now. It's been out. Okay.
You have like a 3 days afterwards, and then spoilers.
So you build all this up. Negan beats the brains out of Abraham and Glenn.
Yes.
And then when him and Rick finally fight, Rick is all sad and morose about Coral. He slits Negan's throat and then tells Michonne, heal him up. Why are you going to heal him?
I thought the whole goal was to get rid of Negan.
Right. He says, we're going to let you rot in jail, and you're going to serve as a lesson to everyone out here that this is a different society now. We're going back to the way it was. So I was like, well, why didn't you say that to the folks in front of everybody? Now they think you're weak.
Yeah, he looks weak. Well, you know what? Do you think he did that because, Rick had to go up against the governor who was just fucking batshit crazy?
Right.
Negan's really not crazy. Narcissistic.
He beat 2 men's head into a pulp with a baseball bat.
But that's not crazy.
With barbed wire.
That's not crazy?
That's not crazy?
That's not crazy.
What is that?
So the governor would do that because it was sadistic. Negan did it because his way of getting order, he was a coach at one point.
Yeah.
The team has to function.
Right.
They're in an extreme situation where it's about survival. So how do you keep people who have necessarily lost everything, how do you shake them up enough to listen to rules that no one really has to listen to? No one really has to you have nothing to live by other than either fear or respect, and those two things are the same when it's
in that situation.
A world overrun with zombies.
But you could always put a bullet in their head. You don't have to.
Yeah, I remember whose eye popped out a little bit.
That was Glenn's.
Glenn. Yeah, that was hard.
You're torturing them. You're hitting their head with a blunt object until it cracks open.
Seal. Yeah. That one was hard. And you know what? Even though I already knew Glenn was gonna die, but Glenn was just like such a good luck charm. Like, how many times did he, meet death face to face, and just by, miraculously he would survive. And
that was another problem. They psyched us out with his death underneath that
they did
garbage
the garbage
bin.
dumpster. Because I thought for sure he was a goner then. Yeah. But then no, we had to wait until he was sitting in the head and his eye popped out. Because I guess if you're gonna go dramatically, that's the way to go. But here's the thing: I think it would have my heart was pounding whenever the scene was with the garbage dumpster.
Yeah, so was mine.
Yeah, more than it was when everyone was on their knees and he was basically doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right.
Because we knew someone was gonna die. We kept hoping it wasn't Glenn, but it wasn't as dramatic as the dumpster scene. To me, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was for me. That's like I literally wanted to vomit. I was like, oh, who's gonna do it? Because then they revealed it was Abraham.
Yeah, you didn't think it was gonna be Glenn afterwards.
And, he thought, what did he say? Eat my balls or something like that. And so you kind of pop for that, And then all of a sudden you see Glenn looking at Maggie. Yeah, and he's just like, oh, we made it. No, you didn't, Glenn.
I think Glenn knew Maggie wasn't really pregnant. All right, what's some more reasons that it's just time to wrap it up with Walking Dead?
Well, and this is kind of behind the scenes, but you're going to have to re-sign some of these actors because their contracts are running out.
Well, I think they just did.
They did, yeah.
Because there was a rumor that the actress who plays Maggie wasn't going to come back.
Right.
Her pay wasn't up, but I guess they upped it because she got renewed.
Yeah, so you run into that. Michonne is kind of breaking out. What's her name? The actress?
Danae Gorilla or something like that. And she was, she was in 2 blockbusters this year, Black Panther and Infinity War. Yeah. So I'm sure she wants a bit more money.
And think about it. If she's ready to leave, do you want to just lose her abruptly and they don't have time to follow out that storyline? And
she's even lost her edge.
Yeah.
Michonne does. I mean, Michonne was she was badass like Carol, and she still is, but she's been so emotional, because now she's dating Rick and was a surrogate mother to his kids, and she's just not the Michonne that we once knew, which is another reason. Here we go. It's just time to wrap it up.
Yeah, even Daryl's not doing a whole lot. Did we really even see him?
No.
Your main characters that we grew to love, they're kind of diluted, and then they're bringing in these other side characters that we don't care about.
There's no reason for them to be there.
No.
They add nothing to the show. It's kind of like they're all just like running around like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Then someone does something stupid, someone else does something stupid, and then like the main characters come and they do something big, but it doesn't work.
Right.
I feel like that's what the last couple of seasons have been.
Yeah, and like I said already, they could have done that in one episode.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I feel like you've got people who've been watching diehard fans since the beginning, and now we're just kind of like, oh yeah, Walking Dead is coming on. Whereas you used to, the house would shut down when Walking Dead came on. It's not like you couldn't even breathe until a commercial break.
Right,
and it's just. I don't even know what they can do at this point.
Well, that's the problem. I don't know if it was on the Talking Dead or like in social media, but the creator said, we want to go on forever. So if you're telling me you're going to go on forever, that means you don't have an end point.
They don't.
You don't know. You're just kind of going about aimlessly making it up on the fly.
Yeah.
Kind of like when Lost fell off towards the end. You're doing the same thing.
Well, the graphic novel is still being produced.
Right.
So that's still going on. So they really... I'm not sure if they do know what the end game is. It hasn't ended.
Yeah. And they told us we're never going to find out what caused the zombie virus.
Are you serious?
Yeah. We're never going to know.
That's weird. But I mean, like the Black Plague, rats. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think we deserve an answer.
We do, yeah.
But I don't think that, okay, so let's say that, next season is the last season of Walking Dead and they give us a reason, and that messes everything up for the graphic novel.
Well, I mean, they've, I didn't read the graphic novel, but they've already kind of diverted from those storylines anyway. So I don't think that's an issue. Excuse me. But you got to have something in mind for us. I hate to bring up Lost again. Don't do us like Lost.
Don't Lost leave us end where like something wasn't real or?
It was a really good ending for the characters themselves. But as far as explaining, specifically explaining the mysteries of the island, they didn't do it to my satisfaction.
I think that's probably going to be the case when Walking Dead ends. All right, so. If you don't know, we're ready for The Walking Dead to end. But here's another show that most definitely, when you think about television and pop culture, is Game of Thrones, which I think their final season is coming in 2 years.
I think we're down to 1 year now.
1 year? Okay.
2019 or 2020?
Something, Producer James?
Yeah, it looks like it'll be 2019.
2019. Okay, so next year. Which, here's the thing. Game of Thrones, you've got the books, and then you've got the show. Game of Thrones is still on top.
It is.
We are still interested, and the house shuts down when it's on. We're disappointed that we have to still wait this long for the next season to come up. But they're doing it right. They're going out when they're still high instead of kind of like Walking Dead is doing. I did not start watching Game of Thrones, which, if you don't know, were books written by
George R.R. Martin.
Thank you. Fat white guy who drinks a lot and has a beard. So okay. Which I can I try? No, I could try to explain it, but it's not going to make sense.
A lot of incest and a battle for the crown.
There's a lot of incest and a lot of blood.
Yeah.
That is really what the show is. And there's dragons. You can't forget there's dragons. Really good writing, really good characters. They never disappoint. I'm sorry if I spit on you. I just saw this spit go. They never disappoint. Lots of nudity, lots of sex, lots of drinking, lots of corruption, and they have dragons again.
Yeah, good special effects.
Very good special effects.
Really good battles.
Yeah, the fight scenes are just epic. You know what I mean? They make it was the same feeling that Walking Dead used to give me when there was a battle scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? At this point in the game with Game of Thrones, you still know what's going on. Whereas with Walking Dead, you're kind of like, huh? Okay. They're not bringing in all these new characters, to cause confusion, because the names of the characters on a great Game of Thrones are confusing enough for me.
No, I couldn't tell you half of them.
I really couldn't. I'm just like the girl with the blonde hair. Daenerys,
Tiergarden, I think. She's got like 5 names. Mother of Dragons.
It's Targaryen.
Targaryen.
I did it right.
All right.
Yeah, she's badass.
She's awesome, yeah.
She's all about, I'm a woman, but I'm going to take over the 7 kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's my birthright. I know what I'm doing. And bitch, I've got dragons with me. You know what I mean? Then you've got Jon Snow, who everyone roots for. Jon Snow. Jon Snow even died and came back to life. You know what I mean? Then you've got, Littlefinger. Oh man.
They got him, right? They got it. Yes. That was that and Prince Joffrey, the little dude.
Oh, God.
Those are the 2 best kills of the whole show. They were great.
I was surprised by Littlefinger's death. I was like, damn, Sansa, and what's her sister's name? Arya.
Yeah.
Arya. Yes, that was well played. Very well played.
Yeah.
Then you've got Tyrion.
That's the best character of the whole show.
He really is so funny.
He is great.
Really is. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen Infinity War.
Yes.
Okay, so the guy who plays Tyrion is in Infinity War as a giant.
Isn't he like a giant dwarf though?
Yes, he's a giant, but I'm like, his body is still built like a dwarf body, but it's just all big. Yeah. So, who else do we have? We've got what's Joffrey's mom's name?
Cersei Lannister.
I'm so damn tired of her. That bitch right there is ruthless.
Yeah, but I love to hate her now. I used to want her to die, but now I'm like, keep going. We need you.
Isn't she pregnant now too?
I think it's like old Maggie from.
She ain't showing yet. Yeah,
I think she's pregnant.
So here's a little backstory. So she is now pregnant with her 6th child.
Is it 6?
I think
fourth
child. Who the baby daddy is her twin brother. Ain't that some shit right there?
Jamie Lannister.
Jamie, yeah. Not just her brother, her twin brother. Okay. Yeah. Then you've got Jamie, who I think Jamie has had enough of Cersei.
He has.
I think he's done. He's over everything. Ever since she caused that situation that got the youngest son killed.
Yeah.
I think he just is. He's done.
He's over it. He's scared of her though.
He is scared. Well, he should be. Yeah. He should be very afraid of her. I'm afraid of her. I know she's not even real. Just like, ooh, is she gonna come get me when I'm asleep? And but they got her good when they made her do that walk naked, and people were throwing stuff at her and spitting on her. I was like, get her. You know what I mean? Even though she gonna get you in the end, but go ahead and get her while you can.
They paid for that. Though.
Yes, and then who else?
The guy that's in love with Daenerys, the older guy who was like her protector.
Yes, who has the little skin cracking disease.
Turning to stone or something.
Yes. I can't remember. What's his name, producer James?
Jorah Mormont.
Jorah, that's right. I always remember his name by singing the Dora the Explorer song. Jorah, yeah.
He's a very good character. And we've seen different sides of him. We've seen him kind of turn on Daenerys in a way. But his love for her is just undying.
Yes.
Who else have we?
We have Bran Stark, the second to the youngest of the paralyzed kid who can like see things.
Yeah, his eyes roll back, and the one who used to hang out with Hodor. That scene right there was just. With him holding the door back, and you finally get to see why his name is Hodor.
That was a great scene too.
I was like, wow, that was wonderful. Yes. I think that's all the major players right now.
Unless that witch is still out there,
the Red Witch.
Yeah.
But you know what? Her witchery ain't that good.
No.
If you think, I know Lady Brienne.
Lady Brienne, which one is that?
The big blonde one.
Oh, Brienne, yes.
I love Brienne.
Yes.
I love Brienne. I think she has a crush on Jamie.
She definitely does.
Yeah, but I don't think he gonna swing that way. I don't think he may a little bit too big for Jamie.
And I think she's still protecting the Stark girls, right?
Oh yeah, she said she made a dying oath that she would protect them with her life. So right now, I think we got a battle between the siblings. You've got Sansa and you've got Jon, who both in their own right should be the leader of Winter is Coming. Winterfell.
Right.
Because I called it Winter is Coming. So, Sansa.
It's literally Castle Winter is Coming. That's
whatever. So you've got Sansa, who by rights should take the throne.
Right, because she's the actual heir.
Right.
Her father.
Whereas Jon Snow is the bastard child, but now we figured out that he really should be over the Seven Kingdoms.
Right.
Because we found out who his real parents are.
His mother is the Stark sister,
Lyanna, yes. And then his dad is really related to the Targaryens.
Right.
Rhaegar
Targaryen. I'm doing way better than I thought I was actually going to do. I'm remembering shit I didn't even know I knew. But so they're both trying to work together. But the only problem with that is that, while they were growing up, Sansa, because of their mom, viewed Jon as her brother, but she didn't respect him because, he was the bastard son. Yeah. And now he's stepping up, and they both have great ideas because Sansa has just gone through it. She was married to that crazy ass boy, and he made her do all kind of dirty things, and she's had to kill people, and she's almost been killed, and
watch her father get beheaded.
Yes, so she's been through it. She's not the same Sansa at all. And then you got Arya, who
she's gotten really awesome too.
She's a badass.
She can change her faces. Was it the
man with no face?
One? Yeah.
The faceless ones.
Yes.
Faceless man.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see who's gonna step down and let who. Well, go back. So we figure when we find out who Jon Snow's dad really is, that is when he's fucking
his aunt.
It's just like, wait a minute. Wait, what? It's during the lovemaking scene, and you're like, oh, here we go again. More incest. And then you know that he's going to have to battle with her as well because she wants to be, the queen of the Seven Kingdoms. So I'm excited to see how this is all going to play out.
It is, and now we have I guess they're calling him the White King, the zombie king from the other side of the world.
The Night's King.
And then we got the damn dragon.
Yes, they got the dragon.
I'm like, how the hell are we going to beat that? I I don't know that when that dragon opened his eye, I kind of went, ooh, like my butthole kind of was like real tight.
It's going down.
I was like,
yes.
what are they gonna do?
There is no way, because they have to have that special blade, the special metal or whatever it is.
Valerian steel.
Valerian steel, that's right.
Everyone needs a white wave nerd to tell them about things.
Or the dragon what?
Or dragon glass.
Dragon glass?
Wait, but the person who has the dragon glass is Chubby Boy.
No, Jon Snow has the dragon
He does
glass.
have it?
Yeah.
I thought his friend had it.
Sam?
Well, Sam
Yes,
Sam
everybody
had
needs a
little
Sam.
bit. Sam had some, but they remember John went to Daenerys to mine Dragonstone.
Okay.
Because it's the.
All right, so
island's
John
full.
does have it.
Yes.
Okay, I know they kind of, they're getting ready to end this, but the Arthur, he's still writing more books,
Right.
correct? So it's really going to be up to HBO and their writers to decide how this is all going to wrap up. But I think it's going to be pretty epic.
Oh, yes.
Because, I can't wait to see, because they left us, I think the final scene from the season was when the mother of dragons and her nephew were sleeping together.
Yeah. And I think maybe the Walker army was marching.
Man.
Because they busted through the big wall.
Yeah, the very last scene was White Walker, Viserion the dragon, tearing down the fucking wall.
Yeah.
He blew it up.
And them walking through. So
Yeah,
I don't know how we gonna make it.
It could be one of those shows where the bad guys win, and I really wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind, because it's been that good. That's something,
that would be a twist.
Yeah,
most definitely. I don't know. It's gonna be good, and 2019 needs to hurry up. So we can watch the scenes and then get on Facebook and talk about everything.
And we only get like 7 or 8 episodes.
It's a shorter season. So, but are the episodes longer? Okay, the episodes are longer.
Because aren't they going to show them in the theaters?
I think so. I think they're like an hour and a half.
Wait, they're going to show them in the theaters?
At least the first couple, right?
Yeah. There's some places doing like a simulcast thing where you can watch them in the theater.
We need to go.
Yeah, I think
they're
they
doing
did
something
that
local
last season or season before.
Oh,
They had
really?
a couple of them.
I think that would be pretty cool, especially for the final season.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to add, Producer James, about that we might have missed about Game of Thrones?
Some highlights. The Hound is a highlight.
I still like the Hound.
I do
He's
too.
one of my favorite characters. Yeah, he really is. And now I think that, he hung out with Ara for a little bit, and then he got with those kind of weirdish kind of people that adopted him, and didn't they get killed or something like that? And now he's got a new mission. You know what I mean? And him and his half-burnt face. Yeah. He's not cute, but, it's just something about him.
So also, hopefully we'll have a love story between Brienne and Tormund.
Which one's Tormund?
Tormund Giantsbane, the wildling with the red hair.
Yeah!
Oh,
they would have some big-ass babies.
Yes, they would.
Yeah, because he likes her. And I like Brienne, but she seems kind of asexual to me. Kind of like, I'd rather be by myself and do my own thing.
Except for Jamie.
Except for
She wanted
Jamie,
Jamie.
but that ain't going to happen at all. But yeah, I think they would most definitely make a cute couple.
Well, even Tormund said he's like, I want to make babies with her.
I remember that.
Oh, it would
Monsters.
be big babies. They because she's like, in real life, she's like 6 foot.
She's
big.
6'3". She's
6'3". That's a big bitch. I mean, she would make me say, "Yes, ma'am." Okay, she's big and she can fight, and she's a badass. I will say that this show has some really strong female characters, and the female characters seem to last a lot longer than the male. Star. I mean, because how many kings have we? 1, 2, 3. Have died,
and then if you count the fake kings, the other ones are claiming it.
Yeah. So the ladies, they know what they're doing. They know how to play the game a little bit better than the dudes do. Were there any other highlights that we missed? Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break. This episode of the Libra Lounge is running a little bit longer, and when we come back, we're gonna wrap it up and have Bitch Please. I want to thank my guest, Michael Navarro, for coming in here and kikiing with me today. I think we could have talked for
another couple hours.
Yeah, we'll have to most definitely do another pop culture show because there's so much to talk about. So if anyone is interested in your graphic design business, how do they get in touch with you?
I'm doing it on the side,
so
I don't have too many clients, so I haven't set up my website or anything yet. But I will post in the. It's going to be on YouTube, right?
Yes, it'll be on YouTube, Facebook, and then we'll put the information on our website.
Okay, I'll post my information in the comment section on YouTube.
Perfect. Okay, so I think we need to hire you because we've been talking about a new logo for the production company.
Okay.
And the one that we have up right now is just not cute at all. It's just something that we found and said, let's just use this for right now. But before we get into Bitch Please, this is a very, very special moment for me. It's not often that I find another soul who was a fan of the 90s teen soap opera, Swan's Crossing.
Swans without an apostrophe.
No. It was just Swans, because that was the last name of, was it?
The founding family were the Swans,
Crossing.
and I think the town was Swans Crossing, right?
Yeah. It was basically, I mean, it wasn't a lot to the show. It's basically a small, wealthy town, and rich teenagers running around being mean and doing things they're not supposed to be doing and being pretty and rich. And I just loved it. I still remember the theme song, and I think I posted a picture of the twins that one of the actors, there's a set of twins. You've got Brittany and Cynthia Daniels, who played on Sweet Valley High, and I think Brittany played one of the leading roles on Swan's Crossing.
She did.
Yeah, so I think I made a post and you were like, I'll do you one better. I not only watch the show, but I've got this fantastic freaking poster book. And you're like, and it opens up. It has all the characters' names and everything on the back. And I was like, you must come on my show, if for nothing else, so I can hold this. Swan's Crossings was just, I'm not going to say it was like, there was no breakout stars except for Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah.
Actually, Mira Sorvino was a reoccurring character on there.
Who did she play?
She was, she's in the picture. There's Mira. There's Mira. That was the guy who was her brother. He was that yoga kung fu guy who was like all spiritual and weird. His name was Saja.
Yeah, I remember her. I see Mira right now, but
she was real snooty, and she had a thing for, I think the guy's name was Jimmy. He had a crush on the tomboy girl.
Okay. Yes. This is so cool. Swan's Crossing was very short-lived, but the memories will live on forever in the hearts of Mike and I, because we might have been the only two people who watched it, and that's part of the reason that there was not a season 2.
Right. I had another friend who watched it, but we were dudes. We weren't going to admit to it.
I think it came on when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I was in 6th grade into 7th grade. It actually ran 65 episodes because it was 5 days a week.
That's right. It came on every day.
And I think it came on, let's see, I would set the VCR for when I was at baseball practice, and I would run home and watch it. And then they moved it to like 5 a.m. later in the fall.
They sure did.
And so I don't know what happened with the bald Russian dudes with the missiles or whatever. I don't know what happened.
It kind of got bizarre. It really did. It was like, huh?
Yeah, they're all on YouTube, so we can go back and watch them.
I know they're on YouTube.
Okay.
Because I made my daughter listen to the theme song one day, and I was singing it. And
were you doing the dance? Yes.
She was like, we're in the car, dude. Like, can you not right now? So, Mike, you also brought something else that's really cool. Why don't you tell us about this big book right here?
Okay, so several years ago, I worked at a community newspaper, and when they shut down, they were throwing away all of their stuff, and they had some great stuff. And I found the 1990 to 91
that's pretty cool
booklet for the Fox network, and we're talking about all of the photos and slides. So when they wanted to advertise their programs, they would send you these. And
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so the slides are all in color, and the photos are all in black and white. So when you wanted to run a still shot of In Living Color or Married with Children or whatever, you would just take a photo of the slide or the headshots. And
so you have like actors' headshots in here?
I have actors' headshots in here.
Is there? Oh my gosh, that's Bobby's World.
Bobby's World, and I didn't know it was out that far back.
Wow.
It's not, it's...
That's pretty cool. Look, James wants to jump over here. I know he does. Who else? I know you say you had In Living Color.
I have In Living Color. I have Married with Children.
Now, who is that?
I don't remember that show.
American Chronicles?
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Parker Lewis Can't Lose is in there.
Yes! Yes!
Let's see. I'll get you to the...
That is insane. I used to love Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Read that tab.
What does it say? It says Class of Beverly Hills. So you have Beverly Hills 90210?
Yes, apparently it was originally called Class of Beverly Hills. Now check this out. Cast photo. There's headshots of everybody in here after this photo.
And that is season 1 because I don't even know who the hell that
is. Yes, the little blonde. I was talking to my cousin. I was like, do you remember a blonde dude?
No.
He's like, you mean Brian Austin Green? I'm like, no. I mean some blonde dude who I have no clue what his character was.
He's over there with Kelly. So was he related to her?
I think, I thought I put his headshot as the very last one.
I don't know who that is.
No. I took a picture of his headshot to send. And I can tell you real fast.
Because I'm like, who's that? He didn't last long on the show. That's for damn sure. Because
his name was Scott, the character, and I have no clue who Scott was on 90210.
I don't remember seeing him at all. That is so cool. What is this, DEA?
Yeah, I don't remember, that show. Hidden Video.
I don't know if I remember that one either. Let me ask you, what is this? Good Grief?
I don't remember that.
I don't know if I remember. If you have...
There's In Living Color. Now, there's no cast photo with that. I don't know why.
Keenan Ivory
There's
Wayne.
Keenan, there's Damon, there's Jim Carrey, there's Tommy Davidson, David Allen Greer.
Got his start.
Yeah.
True Colors.
You will remember that.
I remember that
was
show.
A great show.
The interracial couple.
Interracial Brady Bunch, yeah.
I remember that show. I used to watch it. That is like, I guess if you're ever like really broke one day, you can sound that.
Yeah.
Because that has a lot of great stuff in there. I mean, I just got excited a few times just from, this photo from Beverly Hills 90210, and then you have Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
That was I had the biggest crush on Parker Lewis.
Really?
And this is how much of a crush I had on him, on the actor. I think his name was Corin Nimick.
Right, that's his name, yeah.
When my mom was pregnant with my first brother my freshman year, it's like, you have to name him Corin. You have to. And his name was Corin all the way up to when they actually had him. Like, we're not naming him that. So, all right. So, if you're a friend of the Libra Lounge, you know what time it is. It is time for Bitch Please.
Bitch Please. You be rolling down the street telling stories, bitch, you never tell the truth. Bitch, please. Everybody know you lying, bitch, cause all you do is lie.
Alrighty, so everyone's talking about the upcoming royal wedding, and I was excited, but there's been so much shit going on with it the last couple of weeks. I'm like, can we just get on with it? You know what I mean? I even posted a photo of Queen Elizabeth having a stank face on my Facebook page, and I captioned it, watching these motherfucking Markles acting a motherfucking fool. I'ma kick Harry's ass the next time I see him. Okay, so as you all know, Prince Harry is getting ready to marry Meghan Markle, who is American. She's an actress. She doesn't come from a royal, what is the word, lineage, and she's half black. So, this is history in the making, which, that makes it really, really, really cool. But when I say her family has been acting a fool, and I'm going to say this, people know I'm not racist, but I'm so damn glad it's not the black side of her family acting a fool. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Because, if it was the black side, they would put a ban on all black Americans from the UK for like the next 7 years. No, you're black. You're from, can't come in to the country. So this week alone, I think it started last week, Meghan's father, let me go back. Meghan's half-sister does not like Meghan at all. She even has written a book, I think it's something like entitled The Petty Princess or something like that. She's not a fan of Meghan. And I think that started back when, Meghan started acting. So Megan's dad, who was supposed to walk her down the aisle, got busted. He had made a deal with with a paparazzi agency to take pictures of him as he's preparing for the royal wedding. Okay, as if that's not bad enough. Which, I mean, it was for $140,000. I ain't mad at him. I would do it in the manner like, Megan, look, either you gonna be the princess. At least let me get $140,000 out of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I am your daddy. So, anywho, not only did he say, they could take pictures of him, but they even started staging pictures. Like, there's a picture of him that was released of him studying up on the world history. And it's all made up. He just totally staged. So, of course, the royals caught wind of that, and they're like, oh, no, that is not how we do this out here. So they got really upset. The guy, he had a heart attack, checked himself out of the hospital. I mean, it's just dramatic. So he checks himself out of the hospital, and then he keeps talking to the press. Like, this is not what the royals do at all. He's like, yes, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. I'm not going to even go to the UK. I don't want to cause any more embarrassment to my daughter or the royals. Then a few days later, well, I thought about it. I gave it a lot of thought. And I do want to walk my daughter down the aisle. But guess what? I'm back in the hospital again. I got chest pains. I think I need to go to the hospital, and I don't know if I'm going to be. The doctor said that the first heart attack caused a lot of damage to my heart, so I got to go back. But my daughter Megan did text me, and this is what she said. Like, dude, what are you not getting right here? So my bitch please of the week goes to Meghan Markle's, or as I like to call her, Prince Harry's future baby mama, her dad, Thomas Markle. But I will say thank you, Thomas, for being white and not being black and acting a fool. So I do feel bad for Meghan, because it looks like her dad's not going to be able to make the trip to walking down the aisle. But her yoga mama, she's a yoga instructor, and I guess that's why she's so chill. She already took her flight to the UK, and it looks like she's going to be the one to walk Meghan down the aisle. So, hey, I mean, I don't think a black person has ever even been in anything big with the royals. So, I mean, this is really history in the making. Please don't fall or do a yoga move pose while you're up there, anything like that. So, again, I want to thank Mike Navarro for coming out here and us chatting it up. I think this is something we should do once a month, personally, have a pop culture show. And educate these fools about what's really going on or what used to go on, and maybe I could do something fantastic on one of these shows and become a pop culture phenomenon myself. It ain't gonna happen, but one can know. Where's that Swans Crossing thing? That's you told me I could have it. No, I don't know if you remember that you said I could have it, Mike. No, I'm just kidding. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Libra Lounge. We'll see you next week. Peace.